I was born in Georgetown, South Carolina, January the 2nd, 1915, on Wood Street. My father was a letter carrier. My mother, at that time, was a homemaker. I'm the oldest of 4 girls that my mother had.
When the 4 girls were still quite young, they and their father faced a daunting loss.
He was very active in what was then the Building and Loan Association that Negro men had organized in Georgetown. And I remember among them was Mr. J.B. Brockington and I.J. McCartry. I remember those two. And they had an office on Front Street upstairs over what was then the Crawley store on the corner of Front and King. And the night that my mother died, I remember I was always very easily awakened. I was awakened by this noise, and I woke up, and my grandmother was crying, and what's the matter? What's the matter? And I heard her say to the doctor, "She gone yet, Doc?" And I don't know what the doctor said, but then she asked the same question again, and he must have said yes, and oh, she just burst out. Well, then the noise was so much, it awakened all of us, and they got us up and dressed us. And 3 o'clock in the morning, my father left the house with the 4 of us. I was 9, Ghana was 8, Hilda was 7, and Zelda was 5. 2 little girls on either side of him walking down the street, and went to the office. And I remember climbing the steps because the entrance was in the back, and going up there. And again, I always enjoyed going there with Papa because you would sit around, and while he was working, I was typewriting, and I realized now there was nothing but banging on the typewriters and looking at everything that, was there. And Papa himself was crying, and he went there and started working, and we were just, I don't know, not in the way, because he did not consider us in the way, but I've often thought that that was his way of expressing his extreme futility. What was he going to do with 4 girls?
Florida excelled at school. She attended Morris College, Howard University, and New York University, pursuing her love of history. She traveled to Texas, where she taught at historic Butler College, Jarvis Christian College, Texas College, and Prairie View A&M University.
First, I have an insatiable love for history. I have never wanted administration. I have wanted only to teach history. And the energy and time that one puts in administration would steal away the time that I would need for study and for reading and for organization.
She also had a son, Robert, who grew up by her side on campus.
But I was very proud and pleased of what he did and what he has done with his life. But I have not had the time to spend with him that I've wanted to, because in college teaching, you're always preparing, and you must, because you must keep up with the scholarship. And the kinds of schools that I worked in, you didn't have few classes. I always had 5 classes. And that's preparation, evaluation, preparation, evaluation. But I enjoyed the work.
In 1988, Florida retired from Prairie View and returned to Georgetown. For years, she taught courses in local African American history.
Georgetown, like the whole of the South, has transformed. Physically, it has changed. Spiritually, I don't think it has changed. I think there was always a fine, deep feeling of goodwill. And it has just moved into another phase and kind of expression. One of the things that I was most impressed with when I came back is the large number of young women who are in responsible positions in Georgetown with that same quiet dignity that I referred to, that is a part of the people of this town. And when I look at them, I'm just as proud as I can be. I look at Carletha Rudolph in the library. I look at Miss Button on the school board. I look at Alma White. I look at Beulah White. I look at Lily Jean Johnson.
Florida also found time to reflect on life itself.
The only thing is that life is continuous unfoldment. I've watched people, I've been associated with people, I've seen how they overcome the challenges in their lives. And in each instant, when something happens and you think the end has come, it's like going up the steps. And you just move from phase to phase and stage to stage of continuous unfoldment. We are moved in accordance with the divine plan. I firmly believe that. And there is no death.